just share my screen
Hi,
now.
Fred.
How's it going, Bill?
Good. How are you?
Good. You'll be happy to know that sitting with me to my right is one of the guys who is going to be helping train your wife on how to play expert poker as our guinea pig.
Awesome.
You haven't met Greg yet. You'll meet him at some point anyway.
No.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so anyway, so we got your mug up on the screen with the video program here. Let me just quickly give everyone, including you, a little bit of background about what happened over the last week or so with me. First off, I was at the Clickbank seminar, and Clickbank, for everybody who doesn't know that, Bill, you know who Clickbank is, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Clickbank, let me just put up another tab here for Clickbank. And Clickbank is a digital marketplace where people who have digital products can sell to other people who have digital products. You can sell other people's stuff, you can create your own stuff. But anyway, so I showed up at the conference, and there was a lot of good information, and I'm going to be talking right after this webinar to one of their VPs to talk about some stuff that we might be doing. But just like we were talking about Kindle, Bill,
Yes.
this is another place. So the issue is, how do you get people in your field to find you cheap? And so if, say, for example, now let's just go into Clickbank here and let's look up voiceover and see if they have any. Let's see, 0 results. Let's see, let's go to their marketplace. I think that's where they have the listing of all this stuff. Find products, voice. Maybe let's put voice over, all one word. Generally done that way. So here. So
It's
here
done
is,
both.
yeah. So how do you know some guy named Dan O'Day?
I do. I've been buying this stuff for 20-something years.
Okay, so there you have it. In other words, here's an indication. If we wanted to promote Dan O'Day's product, we would click on it, and it would give us, after we put in this information, it would give us a link where we could sell Dan's product, and it gives you various statistics here: the initial sale, how much you get paid, etc., etc. And it's under the category Arts and Entertainment Radio. So what happens is, if we put up a really good program on voiceovers, and instead of one of the mistakes he's making here is, notice this 50%, Bill?
Yeah.
That's not enough. One of the things, in order to get people to, and again, our goal here is to try, whether it's on Clickbank, move this up a little bit, whether it's on Clickbank or on Kindle, or through SEO stuff on Google, everything that we're doing is trying to acquire leads as inexpensively as possible who are probable prospects for our front end, back end, and all other types of products. So let's say, for example, Bill, that you put together a course, maybe it's something that we do with those 100 questions when they eventually come up, but you have some content, whether it's audio, video, or text, and
Okay.
you put it up and you make it available for sale, let's say for $49, and you give people, instead of 50%, you give them 75% of the front end sale. So let's make it easy. You give them 75%, let's make the numbers real easy, of $45. So 75% of $45, if I've got, now you know what, have I done my math correctly here? Is that divisible by 4? No, let's make it $60. So then you would end up giving someone 45 bucks, and you would make 15 for yourself. Make sense, Bill?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but you don't really care, because basically you're getting $15 per lead. So you're acquiring customers who will buy other much more expensive and more valuable stuff from you, and you're being paid to do so. So since
Right.
Clickbank, I just looked before we started the webinar, and Clickbank is the 200th most trafficked site on the internet, and compared to the billions of sites out there, so they get a lot of traffic. So there might not be a whole lot of people who want to promote voiceover products, but there will be some. Well, obviously Dan O'Day's stuff, cool tools for radio and advertising professionals. Now, this is a bad description. What we would put in yours is something like, learn how to make real money. Learn how to make over $100,000 a year with your voice alone Experienced voiceover artist shows you exactly how step by step, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So then what happens? And here's another one: Mouthy Money. Do you ever heard of these guys?
I've seen them online. They popped up recently.
Okay, so and they're smart because they're giving away 70%. But it doesn't look like anything's ready yet from these guys. But the other thing is I have recently, since I met the guys that are over at Clickbank, I am now in a position where they are going to probably help me to help you and help us get all this stuff up there. But again, Clickbank or Kindle, or you put up the ebooks, it's all just another way, and this is what it's all about. You know, it's another way to generate leads and get paid to do so. So in other words, all of these places, now again, this doesn't mean that we're going to get thousands of people coming in. It just means that it's another way to generate leads that are specific to our topic, voiceovers in this case, so that you can sell them your other more expensive products and services on the back end. Does that make sense, Bill?
Yeah, sure does.
Okay, so that's why that's why we're doing that. That's why we're dealing with places like Clickbank, and again, I bumped into some people at Clickbank at the seminar there that were making over $100,000 a month. Yeah, these are their top end players. I mean, there's some people making really, really big, disgusting amounts of money there. So let's just say now currently, and let's talk about you specifically, Bill. And for those of you, by the way, who are on this webinar, the way that I do this is I work with existing people. And Avish, I see you're there also. Avish, welcome.
Thank you.
Avish, now married and no longer available for all of you ladies who are interested.
Congratulations, Avish.
Thank you very much.
So anyway, with any of these types of things, how many total? Let's take with voice-over-training.org. How many total opt-ins are we up to? It's probably 1,200 now or so.
Is it right? Yeah, right around 1,200 exactly.
1,200
exactly.
People on the list. And by the way, the bigger the list you have, the better it is. But it is very possible to make good money with a small list if you have a topic that is, if you have a great relationship with those people on the list, number one, and a lot of them buy from you, and also you have a lot of products that, have higher price points. Or, for example, like Greg, who's sitting next to me, we're working on the poker site and then the spasmodic dysphonia. Poker, extremely broad appeal. Spasmodic dysphonia affecting only 50, 60,000 people in the United States, very narrow appeal. So what we have to do then is understand that with spasmodic dysphonia, SD as we abbreviate it, we would be going after, probably it's a very, very specialized market, and therefore we're going to try and copy, like I've said before, and I don't know if you saw this, Bill, but I hooked up with David Oliver while I was in New York, and he runs Bipolar Central. And so what we're going to try and do is take bipolar and .com, and we're going to try and basically create another one of these and make it Spasmodic Dysphonia Central.
Okay.
And so that's what we're going to do, and he has a ton of stuff here, and it's working. Now, example of how to use current events to promote your business. I don't know if you guys saw this. In fact, you would know this, Bill, because you're in a state. Is your senator, your congressman from Illinois, Jesse Jackson's son, was diagnosed with bipolar and is being treated. You saw that, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay, well, what's his name? Which Jackson is he again? I forget.
Yeah, I see his face. I can't think of his name.
Yeah, so Jesse Jackson's son was diagnosed with bipolar, and this would be a great opportunity for my buddy David Oliver to hop on and issue a press release saying, the folks at Bipolar Central are, blah, 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 and relating it to what's happening to somebody that's a big shot in the news. So that's something that would be very logical for him to be able to do.
Right.
So now, and again, I just had a conversation offline here with Greg and who were, poker and spasmodic dysphonia, and we were talking about the fact that, I got some information from my buddy Bill on the other Bill DeWeese, on promoting, and I have sent it. Did I send it to you yet, Bill DeWeese? I know I sent it. Avish,
No.
You saw that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I sent you that cheat sheet.
Yeah.
Okay, so the cheat sheet basically gives us all of the things that we need to do. And, back when, remember, Avish, when I was really into blogging like more than once a day?
Yeah.
Evidently, that was the right thing, and I'm going to have to start doing it again. And I was just having a conversation with Greg here, and he says to me, he sort of gives me a look like, oh, crap, I got to do that. And I said, well, it's sort of like if you study or do anything. And his basic thing was, we're talking 3 to 5 posts daily, okay, and ranging from a low of say 250 to 300 words. So let's just take 4 posts daily, and then multiply that by 250. You're looking at 1,000 words per day, and you're saying, "Oh man, I can't do that." Well, let me just tell you that Bill, total has gotten 86 million total visitors to his a number of niche sites. So it's sort of like when you play anything or do anything. Michael Phelps used to have to get in the pool for 6 hours a day and look at a black line going back and forth and have to do that. It's all a matter of whether or not you want to do the work. People will tell you, things can magically happen, but I just don't believe that. So instead, what we're going to be doing is trying to, if we were to do this, Bill says that this is the other Bill, Bill Deweese. Bill says that within 6 to 9 months. So everybody bitches and moans about what they have to do, but if you do this, and he's got a few other things, and again, we're coming out with this product. In fact, I think it's Make 10K. I don't even know the name of one of my sites here, the URL address, but I think it might be make10k.net. I'm going to have to check here, but anyway, I'll promote that via email or on the blog as well. But it's something you just have to do because he's got the data to show that this is the way you want to do it. Now, if you don't want to be an Olympic swimmer, then don't get in the pool 5 hours a day. If you don't want to make money online and you think you can make money like really easily, well, go buy lottery tickets. It's just a matter of, or if you're going to learn how to play poker, if you're not going to take the time to spend learning it, practicing on online, going to the casinos, and playing poker, you're not going to get good at it. There's just no way to get good at anything unless you're willing to put in the time. So the question just becomes, are you willing to do that? And so in this case, and this is probably the reason why very few people get really incredible results in the search engines, because they're not willing to do it. Now, admittedly, Bill says, the other Bill, Bill Ballou says that you need to get, you can do this and do these posts without doing them yourself. You could pay someone else to do them. Now, again, he's got a bunch of people that he has outsourced that'll do this, but I'm not willing to do it because I think it's sort of like paying someone to exercise for you. I just don't think it usually works as well. It's not quite as effective. But anyway, so let's check in and see. Now, Avish has been sort of busy on doing the marriage thing, so let's stay with Bill for a second, though. Bill, let's see about what are the next upcoming events for you.
Yeah, I've got a. I don't know, is it even listed on? See, it's not even. I've got to update that.
You got the old one up here.
Yeah, but these are the actual 2 workshops I've got coming up. One's in October, one's in November.
Okay, so
I'm glad
we just
you
need to
pointed
change
that out.
We just need to change the dates on these, right?
Yep, that's it. I was so worried about getting the website up, I didn't even think about changing that. Little stuff like that, it's amazing that you just have to pay attention to detail, don't you?
You do. And now the other thing here that I'm noticing is, notice on the audiobook workshop, we've got a link here. And on the voiceover marketing workshop, we have nothing.
Yeah, because that site's not up and running yet.
Good. Okay, so let's think about that and let's change the dates here. And what are the dates, just in case anybody who watches or listens to this wants to come? So the audiobook workshop is when?
That one's in November. I'm going to have to look it up on my calendar. Okay. I'll do that right now. But I can tell you the voiceover marketing workshop is October the 20th.
Okay, October 20th. And that's the weekend of the 20th, right?
It's that Saturday.
Oh,
That's one day.
It's a 1 day. Okay. A 1 day.
Yeah, the audiobook workshop is a 2 day, and it is the 17th and 18th of November.
November 17/18. Okay. So now, again, we want to make sure that whenever we come up with these dates, we immediately change this stuff here. And so you want to get that. And then we also want to have the link here to go to the voiceover marketing workshop.
Right.
Good. Okay. And so now the other thing that and by the way, Bill DeWeese is a great example of someone that many people who are in the information marketing business have the same dilemma. And the dilemma, if I can remember how to spell it, is that right? Is this, that he is working a real business. He is a working voiceover artist. And he's now on pace to do, $250,000 a year this year from his voiceover business, probably, thereabouts. So he's on pace to do that. And yet he's trying to develop this other information marketing business. So he's doing the information marketing biz on the side. So it's now, I know this guy is calling me from Clickbank. Hold on, let me just take this call real quick. Hey there. Is this Rafe? Hey, you're an hour early. It's my time because I'm on my webinar, which I gave a link to the folks at. So can you call me back in an hour? No problem. Sounds good. Bye. Okay. So anyway, that was a call from the guys at Clickbank who we were going to get together with. I neglected to give them the right time zone. So the dilemma is here that Bill is a real voiceover artist. Making $250,000 this year, probably. I don't know if we're exaggerating the numbers or not, but somewhere between 200.
That's about right on track. Yeah.
So and last year, remember we were touting you as the guy who makes $150,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's changed, but the problem is for Bill is that's a lot of money, but number one, it's a lot of work, and number two, if he were to get the information marketing business up to the point where he was making $100,000 a year, then all of a sudden he could be much more selective with his clients. He wouldn't have to work his voice as hard. There would be a lot of positive. And we've sort of had this conversation, but let's just say that you were netting from the information marketing an extra $100,000. How would you change your business model?
Most likely, and I've given this a lot of thought, I would probably, two things. Number one, cut back on my lower producing clients and work my mornings as a voice talent, record, like before lunch, and then afternoons work strictly information marketing.
And I think that's a great plan. And you know what? I don't think that anyone who's listening or watching the webinar should think about completely abandoning the work that they do, because I think to put together products on voiceovers, you and I both know other people who sell products related to voiceovers who barely do any voice work anymore.
Yeah, that's the truth.
And so to me, you have massive amounts of credibility because you're actually doing it. And even if we started making, even if we started making $500,000 a year from the voiceover product side, I would tell you you should still keep your business going, even if it's 20 hours a week.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think you would as well, right? I mean, let's picture this.
Absolutely.
If you're making $500,000 a year doing the information products, you'd still want to continue to do some voice work, wouldn't you?
I would. The main reason, because it keeps me in touch with the marketplace. You've got to know what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's what this is all about, is the understanding that, and somebody said to me at the seminar when I was in New York this last time, they were saying to me, well, I'm getting to the point where I really want to retire. And I said, well, then if you want to retire, you probably made a bad career decision because you're doing something you really don't enjoy doing. And I'm hoping that, Bill, you like the voice, you like doing the work. You just wish you weren't tired doing it 50 hours a week, right? Yeah,
exactly. I really enjoy doing it.
Yeah, and so, again, there is now, the other thing is that in the long-term hopper, we have, by the way, a voice-over program to show, and I'm sure Avish will be interested in this because his wife, now that he just got married, has given him the marching orders that he has to start making some regular money every single month. Can't be the sporadic speaking income. So the voiceover program to show speakers how to make some additional dollars, and we don't really know how much that is something that that's another future plan for us, right, Bill?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
again, hopefully we can get to that before the end of the year. Because Avish, would you be interested? A and B, do you think other speakers would be interested in learning how to make money doing voice work because you're in the professional speaking business?
I would. I think the one thing, if you guys haven't talked about it, is to specify or make it so it could be done as an additional. Because I mean, some of the voiceover things. I mean, voiceover, as Bill knows, it's in and of itself a whole business. To really do it fully. So as long as the program was about, how do you continue to build your speaking business, without taking so much focus away to get the voiceover work, I think would be very interesting.
And Bill, will our program show them how to do that?
It will.
Yeah, so
excellent.
Again, I think that's, because I don't think that anyone who's a professional speaker, by the way, speaking of professional speakers, did you see USA Today yesterday, Avish?
I saw there was an article about Scott McCain.
Yeah, McCain has got this huge thing. This is a guy he and I both know. He looks like he's like the absent-minded professor with the way he looks now with his long hair. Have you seen it?
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw him in Indianapolis. So.
That's funny. Anyway, so here we've got this opportunity to again, Bill is in the fortunate or unfortunate position of not being able to devote a lot of time to building the information products. But what happens is, if he doesn't build the information products business, he ends up, and Bill, I got to be honest, I mean, here's a real question. I don't think I've ever asked you this, and this is something that you should get right away. Is your voice insured?
It's not.
Okay. To me, I think you are crazy not to pay the premiums for Lloyd's of London or whomever to insure you and your voice.
Well, I'm crazy for a lot of reasons, but we can certainly add that to the list.
Because I think, if for example, you got what Greg has sitting next to me right now, if you got SD, spasmodic dysphonia, and were unable to do voice work, your income would drop very rapidly.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
So I just think that it's, it may be something like, who was it? And again, I don't think your legs will compete with hers, but whichever actress it was who had $1 million legs and had her legs insured for like $5 million or whatever the heck it was, you should get your voice insured.
Yeah, my accountant's been bugging me about that. You're right, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer because, I mean, you have something that if, God forbid, something can happen to your voice, you'd be in big trouble. Now, that would be, hopefully, we can create the information marketing, the information products related to the business well before that ever thinks of happening.
Yeah.
Because then you'd actually have some stuff. But it means all of these things are necessary to think about. And the same thing, well, Avish is doing, professional speaking, but it's sporadic work. And so Avish, in your case, I mean, your goal is to generate from, I mean, you'd like to, what's the goal for dollars for you just when you sat down with Amanda? What do you want to be able to generate monthly?
At a minimum, a consistent 6,000.
Okay. So now, the thing about it is, again, that's the total you need, right?
That's total household, you mean? Or
no, total
me?
For you.
Yeah, that's total me regardless of the source.
Okay, so total from you. So if we could make it so that there was $3,000 per month coming in from info products, and then, a minimum of $3,000 per month, which would mean probably 1 gig from speaking, now all of a sudden, I think that you become a lot more relaxed. So the question is how to do that. And obviously, there are always going back to the whole issue here is how do we do this? And it's, there's traffic, and then there's conversion, and then there's product. And so, again, we talked a little bit about this product side is the Bill Ballou thing that we're trying to make that happen. The conversion, and again, I've spent a lot of time on, this is something, by the way, that I talked to, and I recorded a program with Bob Bly this last time. So this is Bob Bly's area, and the product is really my area because I'm just all about product. So this is me. So we have all the components here, and we can get other people. And by the way, in the conversion also, this is really a matter of testing, is figuring out, okay, so if we get X number of people to come there, what are our numbers? Do we need video? And by the way, I was asking the folks who were, with Clickbank, what their numbers were, and they keep telling me, because Clickbank, you need to prepare, two things. Number one is a landing page, and then they also have a thank you page after they order, which gives them download information. But on the landing page, and this is sort of interesting, I was asking them, well, what does your data show? So the options are straight, just copy, or video alone, or what a hybrid. In other words, both copy and a video. By copy, we just mean words on a page, a long sales letter. And so this is where, people are now really excited about video and think that video is the second coming. But we don't really, we're not really sure, at least I've not seen any definitive numbers on the fact that video is working so much better than copy alone did, or a hybrid. So again, this is where we need to test, is we take these items right here and we put them over here, which is, when it comes to conversion, we're going to take copy, video, and a hybrid, which is a combination of both video and some text, and see what works, and then look at how well we are converting. So Bill, in your case, one of the things that we're doing is, and again, looking at traffic numbers here, the latest traffic numbers still look to be something like about 275 per week, right? Unique visitors, Bill Deweese? Is Bill still here? No, Bill's gone. Bill has left the audience. Now,
he's completely gone.
Avish, do you have numbers on visitors?
Yeah, mine have dropped since I haven't really done much blogging in the last 3 or 4 weeks. It's, I think, like 15 unique visitors a day right now.
15 a day translates, so that's what, about 105 a week or whatever?
Yeah, about 100 a week.
100 a week, okay. So if it's 100 a week, and do you have any data on what is the number of, what's the number of people that are opting in weekly?
That I would have to
look up,
figure out. Yeah.
So again, this is the, if I'm serving as the doctor of information marketing, then we need to look at some very, very, the doctor who gets in and works on you needs blood pressure, heart rate, and height and weight, and all that kind of stuff. In this case, in our case, in information marketing, we need unique visitors per period, usually, let's say, per week to make it easy. We need to know number of opt-ins, number of dollars sold, and we just need to know some of these basic numbers here so that we can figure out, are we doing things right? Do we need to change them? So if Greg's putting together a site on Spasmodic Dysphonia Central, and he's trying to get people to come to the site, well, that's a traffic issue. That's the number of unique visitors per week. Number of opt-ins is when they get to the site, how enticing have you made it? What have you offered people? What have you said to them they can get for free if they give you their email address? And that's your number of opt-ins. And again, you look at that as a sort of, it's a percentage. So it's what is the percentage of people who visited, who opted in? And again, we're looking for a number north of or greater than 10%. Our goal would be to get it to, the goal would be to get it to 20%. And if we can make that happen, then everything else happens. So now if we get people to opt in, now our next thing is how many units can we sell them? And now we're all about trying to convert them from casual visitors and opt-ins to people who are buying. So let's see. And Avish, anything else I'm leaving out here? Any thoughts, questions, ideas?
No.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Okay, so we've got a number of people who are here live, including, I see some people, for example, Scott Straub is here, and a number of other people. So if you have any questions, now would be the time to ask them.
Hey Fred, I have a
Yep.
I have a question unrelated to anything we've talked about so far. Something
Yep.
I forgot to ask you when we talked yesterday.
Sure.
So I've been thinking lately, because the sales are a little low on my site anyways, I have been thinking about dropping my merchant account and going exclusively to PayPal for online sales. Because each month with the merchant account, there's a minimum you have to sell, plus there's a fee for this, and there's a fee to accept Amex, and I haven't tallied the exact number, but I'm probably paying anywhere between $50 and $100 a month just to be able to accept credit cards.
Yeah, given the fact that, I mean, it's probably preferable to have the merchant account if your sales are significant. In your case, yes, I would drop it.
Okay. So I can always pick it back up later on when sales.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I mean, I think that now when people go to check out with PayPal, if they don't have a PayPal card, they can put in their credit card information, and PayPal will take it from them, won't they?
Yeah, and there used to be a perception that PayPal was less professional, but I'm thinking this day and age, PayPal seems to be so common that I don't think, and that's why I'm asking, do you think that it's going to hurt from a perception standpoint?
No, I agree with you. I think you should drop it.
Okay.
Because you're right. I think perception in the past was a certain way, but is no longer the case. So therefore, anybody who's on the webinar, preferably it's always nice to have a merchant account, but if not, having just PayPal. And by the way, Web Marketing Magic, webmarketingmagic.com allows you to take PayPal as well. Oh, by the way, I've got some new information here, and let me give you this out. And now I'm going to forget about where oh crap, because I have a special code that I can give everyone. What I'm going to do is, okay, let me try and think about this. I have a special code that was given to me. Here's the deal. I have for a long time been encouraging people to use Kanakcom. kanakcom fulfills physical orders of CDs and DVDs. Well, at this last conference, I bumped into some friends who are now basically creating Kanakcom, but with customer service. Kanakcom has no customer service. In fact, they are proud of the fact that they do not have customer service. They're a machine. If you don't like them, too bad, use someone else. Well, I now have a connection. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my other computer, and I'm going to show you a site and give you a code that will allow you to get some reduced fees and a freebie if you use them. And what they do is, so they now have created, and I'm walking upstairs while I do this, so excuse me if you hear some noise here. I'm getting my other computer so I can log on to that while I'm on this one. And what they have done is they've created, so basically it looks like an oversized postcard which holds a DVD or a CD inside it, and they will print that oversized postcard, they will put the CD or DVD inside it, and they will ship it for you, including all the, the printing of both the CD as well as the artwork that goes on that oversized postcard. And I'm going to get this for you here in a second, but I'll just tell you about it. So this allows you to basically fulfill, and it integrates with Web Marketing Magic. So the nice thing is that you now have a system where you can send out an oversized postcard, 4-color printing on it, with a CD or DVD with 4-color printing on it, and postage. So this is for one, right? So you get the oversized postcard, which sort of holds it. And by the way, if you picture a postcard, it's like a two-side, it's almost like two postcards, one on top of the other. So it's holding the CD or the DVD in between it, and then it's sort of taped together. So it's not like two postcards separately, but it opens up. And you get all this, including postage, sent individually for $5.95 per unit. So that includes shipping, right? So I'm going to pull up for everybody here because I'm going to my my email account to pull up for you exactly what this is, and I have a code that everyone can use. Okay, here. Okay, let's see here. Let me see. I'm pulling it up as we speak. Let's see here. Where is the information? 1 second. I'm going to find it here. Okay. Let me see what code I use here. Okay. Okay, so the code is, everyone, when you go there, you're going to put in this code. Fred G is the code. And let's see where are we sending them to. We're sending them to disk. Let me pull it up here. See it here. diskdelivered.com.
Hi, this is Brett Ridgway, co-founder of Speaker Fulfillment Services, and let me ask you a question. You want to stand out from the crowd, don't you? Well, let me tell you a story. Recently, a number of marketers were promoting free plus shipping CD offers, so we ordered several to see what people were sending out. So here's what we received. These have to be some of the most plain Jane, but ugly mailers I've ever seen in my life. Are you kidding me? Is that what you want representing you? So that got us to thinking, what can we do for our clients that was both professional looking and would help them stand out from the crowd? Well, we've got big news. Disk Delivered is here. Disk Delivered is a custom self-mailer that contains a CD or DVD. These are great for lead generation offers via eBay or Amazon. Perfect for a CD of the month program. Great for unannounced bonuses for your customers or for giveaways and events. So how much does it cost? Well, you don't have to break the bank. It's just $5.99 for U.S. shipments or $6.99 for the rest of the world. And that's all-inclusive pricing for duplication of your disk, printing and assembly of your custom self-mailer, fulfillment costs, and first-class U.S. postage. Best of all, these are printed on demand. Orders placed by noon Eastern Standard Time are produced and mailed the same business day. So what's it going to be for you? Ordinary or extraordinary? You can stand out from the crowd. That's Disk Delivered. Get started today at diskdelivered.com or by clicking on the Sign Up Today button on this page.
So what do you think of that, Avish?
I like it. That's Brett's new thing.
Yeah, well, what happened was they realized they were getting their butts kicked by Kanaki, and they said, well, what can we do that's better and different? So this is a little bit more expensive than Kanaki, because if we were going to go to Kanaki, and let's put that in and just see what they're... Okay, so if we go to Kanaki and put in pricing here, so let's say we're sending one CD in a jewel case to, let's see, send it to me here in Nevada. And let me see here, zip code 89012, and show invoice with shipping. So the total would be $5.30. So it's a little bit more, but man, it looks a whole lot better than like he was discussing to have it in that crappy little, plain Jane container.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I like it. I haven't used Kanaki yet, mostly because I've been too lazy to go, and I've been hearing about how long and complicated it is. So this might be a.
And by the way, good question, Avish, without knowing you're asking it. So use the Fred G code when you go there, and they give you something. I forget what it is. They give you the discount on something. So here's the deal. With this, and what was I about to say? Oh man, I forgot. So what you're going to do is you're going to want to have. Oh, I know. You're going to want to obviously have both physical and digital products. Now, again, I prefer to have digital products, but if people are willing to pay for it, let's say, for example, like I was telling everybody, I think last time, Avish, you may not have been on the call, that if I have a digital product priced at $77 for the digital version, I will oftentimes make available the physical product at $297 for the physical. Why? Because I don't want people to order that one. I want to make it really expensive. But people have ordered it. So that's literally, what is that? It's almost, is it 4 times? Yeah, it probably is about 4 times. 4 times more expensive. And the reason for that is I do not want to get people ordering physical products. But if they do, I can now send out, let's say it's a 2-disc program. I'm not sure if they send these as a set if you package. That's a good question to ask. What if my program, and I can have Brett on to do one of these webinars at some point, has 4 discs in it? Is it basically $5.99 times 4, or is there a discount? I would imagine there's got to be some kind of discounting for multiple units in the package because it's only 1 shipping charge, perhaps, but we'll ask him. So that would be a good thing to ask. But even if it's like four, let's say we had to pay full fare and it was 4 times 6, that'd be $24. $24 less off of $297. I'm still making like $275. So
well, through the shopping cart, I mean, you can also pass on shipping costs, right? I mean, that's pretty standard.
Absolutely, you can as well. And so now there's a question from Scott, which I haven't gotten to yet. And Scott asks, how do you suggest we deliver downloadable video to customers? Amazon we're using. Okay, so now there are 2 ways on the digital side. Let's switch over to the digital side here, which is you've got text, audio, or video, all of which can be digitally delivered. Okay, and the best way I suggest to do it is this, is to set up a page, web page, where the people who order, your customers, can go to download or stream your content. Now, streaming is true in the audio and the video side of it. Let's say, okay, so say you've got a web page. We go to some web page, and that web page may have on it PDFs that are, or text that is either just viewable or downloadable or both, audio that is streamable, meaning to say that you don't download it on your computer, you just listen to it on there, or video in which you watch it on there or download it. Now, some people get really uptight about allowing people to download their content because obviously, unless you have it locked, they can share it with everybody else if that's a concern of yours. I always say don't worry about it because you could put plenty of bounce back offers in there. But in answer to Scott's question, what you do is you set up a web page. That web page, so then you protect your web page with Wishlist, which, by the way, they were at the event as well that I went to. So you protect the web page with a Wishlist, and on that web page you stream or allow for download, which can be done easily, but so streaming using the service that Amazon has called Amazon S3. Which is really, really inexpensive. Now, Amazon S3, if you're not a techie, don't get concerned. It can be a little bit tricky, but once you set it up, you can do it. So you can do this yourself, or you can find someone to do it for you. But my next project that I have Stanley, my webmaster, working on is to take all of my products in digital form and set up a site with many pages, 1 for each product, and put them up. Put them up in a streaming / downloadable form. So this means that I would have, let's say I have 500 pages, all of which have a different program on it. I recently talked I talked this last weekend to the folks at Wishlist who said, and Avish, remember this was an issue before where let's say that in my case, let's say I had 100 digital products, 500 products. So now I set it up on 500 different pages. And each one of those has a different key to get in that door to watch that stuff or to listen to it or to download it, whatever. So 5 different keys to get in. Wishlist has now developed something where, say for example, I wanted to create a bundle that included product number 1, number 46, number 52, 85, and 103. So now if I have each of these set on a different page with 500 different keys to it, you'd think it'd be a pain in the neck, but no, what's happened is Wishlist allows you to now create bundles where all 3 of these could get just 1 key to get into all of these doors and not be able to access the others. Does that make sense?
That's nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so that's a new feature that they now have. And so, Scott, in answer to your question, I would put up, I would buy Wishlist. I would then put up an individual page for each one of your items that you have, each one of your digital products. And I would then do it. Now, Scott has another follow-up question here. Time limit for viewing the streaming videos. Can you set this up to expire so that people can't get access to it forever? My answer is I think so, but I'm not entirely sure. I think that Wishlist has a feature that allows you to say, okay, you have now bought this for the next 60 days, and on day 61, your key will no longer work. We came in, we talked to the locksmith, and we changed the locks. I think. I'm not certain though, Scott. So, good question though. Avish, can you see how this would be useful?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, this is kind of cool. So what I'm having Stanley do is create a lot of different pages and putting one product on each one of them. And so this way, in fact, let's just say you had a seminar, like I've got a bunch of seminars where there are 7 DVDs. I might put them up on 7 different pages rather than just on one page with all 7. Why do you think I'd do that, Avish?
Oh, yeah.
So perception of value. In other words, it probably will be a hassle, so I may not do that. But I think if I set it up, I could then sell an individual DVD separately, or I could bundle them, like we're now allowed to do with Wishlist, into you can get access to these 7 pages all for one flat fee. Let me see. Let's see. Scott now is asking, format you're using for streaming videos? I have no idea. Good question. What's the format for the streaming videos? I think that Amazon S3 accepts a variety of formats, but probably the MP4 is what's being accepted, but I'm not sure. I think they accept multiple formatting, but whatever it is, I'm not sure if Amazon S3 cares. Amazon S3 is just like having a big hard drive in the sky where you can upload anything on there. And as long the question, Scott, would be, Scott is asking which format do you use when you upload the videos to Amazon S3 to then have play for people? And the answer is that it doesn't matter, except for the fact that people who will click on it have to have resident on their own computer a play device, a player. And so you want to stick with some of the more common formats so that when people click on it, they get, like for example, Flash is, a lot of times I get a little notice that says your Flash player isn't up to date. So you want to create a format, and I think that format is much more universal if it's MP4. I think. So that's what I would do. Anyway, a lot of good questions. Avish, any other final thoughts?
No, this was good.
There you have it. A lot of information, folks. Thank you for being on the webinar. We do these every week, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. Please come back next week. And by the way, if you go to the site, my site has all of these webinars. If you click right here, almost all of them have been recorded and put up on the site, and you can go watch them. I'm short a few, but there's literally at least 50 or 60 or 70 or I don't know how many now